Time to bring in Hunter Riggall, Marietta Daily Journal. Find out what's going on, what happened yesterday at a rather important meeting involving Atlanta United, AMBSE, and NWSL's Team 17, Atlanta 2028. Hunter, good morning. Thanks for dropping by. I know it was a late afternoon and evening for you.
Morning. No, happy to be here. No problem.
You-
I'm still drinking my coffee, but
That's all. I was going to ask if you are properly caffeinated for this segment. And so, what is the mug that you have? By the way, we always ask this question.
oh, it's just a very basic. It's got Ben Franklin on it. On this
There we
side.
go. Okay.
I've had it a long time.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. So, how do you take your coffee, sir?
Black.
Wow. Okay. All right. So then you will be gassed up and ready for this. Yesterday, an important decision was made in the city of Marietta, and thank you for coming on to break it all down for us. Team 17 in the NWSL got the okie doke, and it was 7-0. So break down what happened with the vote and where we are with what happens next.
Sure. So, the Marietta City Council approved unanimously, as he said, to enter a memorandum of understanding is the technical term, but basically to enter a contract with Arthur Blank's NWSL team, and they will be building their headquarters and practice fields in Marietta on Franklin Gateway. It's about a half mile south of the Atlanta United facility.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's 4 full-size fields and I think 2 half-sized fields, and it's sort of a little bit of a complicated transaction because the city is selling some land. They're also getting some land back from Blank that will be turned into a park. But yeah, there's like a due diligence period, and the council will come back in mid-April, to kind of give it a final approval. But I think it's pretty much a done deal, obviously, with the unanimous support. And I think I saw the NWSL club put out a video with Josh Blank and Rich McKay kind of announcing this and celebrating it. So, yeah.
All right. So for those of us who are not as depth of field when it comes to Marietta traffic that you are, so if I've got this correct, you turn right on Franklin Gateway. So you get off at the Delk Road exit. You do the loop around. You're going north on 75. You get off at Delk. You come under and you come back over the top. You turn right on Franklin Gateway, and this is that property that's across the street from the community park and the fields that are right there on your way to the practice facility. That's right?
Exactly, yeah. So on your left side, you got the city's public sports complex, and then right across the street from that, it's 34 acres. Was many years ago, there were some apartments and shopping center, and then those were torn down, and it was supposed to be an IKEA. That never materialized. IKEA did own the property, but COVID happened, and they kind of drew back from some of their plans, and so it's. I mean, there's some concrete and trees and whatnot, but it's pretty much vacant, and it's a big piece of land. But so when the team was announced late last year, the mayor Steve Tumlin in Marietta kind of was pretty public about wanting to attract the women's facility to Marietta as well. So he and the council approached IKEA, bought the property back, and are now selling it to Blank.
Had there been any dissension on the city council, or was this pretty much going to be a 7-0 fait accompli on the vote?
Not that I heard. It was 7-0. The vote to acquire the property from IKEA was 7-0, although that was actually a different council because we had an election last November, and so we have a few new members that joined in January. But no, they all seemed very excited. They did have a public comment period last night, which they actually weren't legally required to do, but And so there was a few people who spoke. It was a pretty celebratory atmosphere, and there was definitely consensus among the city and the council members that this is all what they wanted. But there were a couple people who spoke, not necessarily. Some of them were. One of them was kind of in opposition, but some of the people also were just saying things like, I live in this area. This is great, but we have a lot of sports facilities. Can we, get some other things in this part of town? So, but
Okay.
yeah.
So the 10-acre piece that is a part of this trade. So AMBSE gets 33. They get the IKEA property. Their City of Marietta is getting 10 from AMBSE on Franklin Gateway. Where is that 10 acres that is a part of this trade?
Sure. The 10 acres is right across the street from Atlanta United. So it's on the west side of the street.
Okay.
It's pretty much wooded entirely. There's a real old dilapidated house on that lot, but there's basically nothing there. And Rich McKay, when he joined the call, he joined a video call right after the vote, and the council members were all putting on scarves and whatnot. And he said something to the effect of, we bought this land across the street from Atlanta United years ago to protect ourselves, we wanted to be able to control what was across the street from us. And so, yeah, that'll now go to the city. So the IKEA lot where the women's facility will go is being sold for $10 million from the city to blank. The city's retaining 1.25 acres to add more public parking of that. And then blank is transferring those 10 acres across the street from United to the city. And he's also donating $1 million to help them build a park there. So it's a little complicated, but I think that's about the gist.
Okay. So when you're going back as far into your memory banks as you can, looking at AMBSE as a corporate steward and partner there in Marietta and Cobb County, can you quantify the impact that AMBSE has had, whether it's outside of Atlanta United, of what we're talking about, outside of Team 17 in the NWSL? How has AMBSE / Atlanta United been as a steward and a business partner to Cobb County and to the city of Marietta as far back as you can recall? What's the relationship's obviously positive, but can you quantify it in any way?
That's a good question. I don't have any numbers on hand that, whether, I mean, I do know that the Atlanta United facility, he is in AMBSE has invested something like $90 million into that. The women's facility, the contract actually says that they will invest at least $60 million, although city officials say that they expect it to be more than that. I'm not entirely sure how many people work at those two,
Right,
or will work at the new facility, but I think they feel like the city certainly feels like they have a good relationship with them. They do partner with them to do events, and they host youth groups and whatnot at the Atlanta United facility. And I think the city views it as certainly an asset in the community, and something that they felt like had been a success with Atlanta United. So they wanted to, kind of replicate that, expand on that with the women's facility.
What else stood out to you from the deal? Were there any other bullet points that folks need to know about and be aware of going forward before this next due diligence meeting that comes up next month or so?
Not really. I mean, a lot of this happened behind closed doors. We kind of knew it was coming when they bought the IKEA lot, and the mayor was pretty open that this is what he wanted. But things moved pretty quickly, and I guess they need to start building pretty quickly if they're going to start in 2028. But yeah, I think at this point, everything seems pretty locked up, and they kind of just need to cross their T's and dot their I's.
All right. So when's the due diligence meeting again? April?
I think it's April 15th. Yeah.
Okay. Good deal. I can't thank you enough for hopping on with your Ben Franklin mug and the morning cup of black coffee to lay everything out for us since you were there with Team 17 taking their next steps with Atlanta United AMBSE up there in the city of Marietta. I can't thank you enough, Hunter, especially on the quick turn and early morning. I really appreciate your time, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me.